whereas the Chixtape has really become like an actual, like, if I post a picture with a McDonald's bag, is the Chixtape in that bag?
What's going on, guys? For Complex News, I'm Speedy Mormon, and sitting right across from me is a guy. He's got #1 albums, he's got platinum records, he's got a Grammy nomination.
You making me blush.
We got Tory Lanez in the building. Tory, what's up, bro? How you? So, first of all, when I began my prep for this, I don't know if you know this, but if you search the name Tory Lane and forget to put the Z at the end, do you know what comes up?
It's female porn star.
Yes, there's a porn star by the name of Tory Lane.
Pretty crazy.
Have you ever watched any of it?
I had to, technically,
Just to
at
see.
some point to see who this person was, because this is something I figured out like when I first like actually put my name together, because my name comes from two different things.
Right.
But whatever, you know, when I first put it together and actually was like, what is this? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Was it hitting or not really?
Not
really.
She
Okay.
was.
Okay, not your taste. Okay, word. Obviously you're on tour right now and we'll talk about that a little later, but growing up in a bunch of different places, what does it feel like now to go back to places that you once lived and perform for people that are from a place that you once called home?
Well, you know what's crazy about like where I call home? I don't really ever really have a specific spot that I call home. You know, for me, like, I've always moved around. My dad is a missionary preacher, so I've always moved around. This time I lived in Florida, you know, that's where I spent a lot of my life. The time I lived in Brampton, Toronto, the time I lived in California, the time I lived in Atlanta, the time I lived in New York.
You lived in Queens for a little minute, right?
I lived in Long Island.
Long Island, okay.
Yeah, I lived in Long Island for a little minute. And I spent a lot of time upstate too. I got sent to like this like weird like boarding school like / like jail program. It was
in
so
upstate
weird,
New York?
like, yeah.
Upstate New York is...
It was a weird thing. It was a weird thing. So, you know, I spent a lot of my time in New York and also in Florida and Atlanta. And then when I moved back to Toronto, I either stayed in Brampton for a long period of time and then I stayed in Toronto when I got out of the school system.
Your pops, you said, was a missionary preacher and he kind of toured the world, sharing his art, sharing his words.
Yeah.
Is it interesting now? I think it's interesting that you are not a missionary preacher, but you're in a sense touring the world, sharing your art.
I mean, I am a missionary preacher. You know, the things that I preach about is just a little bit different than what he was preaching about. I think a lot of the bases are things that come directly from the book that he was teaching it from, or, you know, things that he was enlightened by from God. Me, my same words are still enlightened by God. They just said it differently, and they're not probably taken from a specific scripture. But there's a lot of similarities in what we do, you know.
Obviously, music is what you knew you wanted to do, but did you ever, as a child, make the connection like, oh, one day I'm gonna do kind of what my pops
I wanted to be a
does?
preacher.
You wanted to
be a preacher, yeah. I wanted to be a preacher, but music, when my mom died, is really like I was really angry. And like, so like when my mom died, I didn't really know how to, you know, deploy or express that anger in other areas. So it either just made me rebellious or like a disruptive kid. And I think when I found the music, it was like, okay, this is where I could put the anger and nobody gets hurt or nobody can be mad at what I put into this.
Could you ever see yourself like on some May shit, like actually begin formally preaching like gospel, like preaching?
I mean, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like my whole point of what I do, at the end of it all, no matter what people like know or see about me, like I'm a positive light of the kingdom of God. And at the end of the day, like, you know, my plan is to help to bring more souls over to the kingdom of God than where they would go if they wasn't there. And, you know, that's a very controversial thing to people, however they feel about it, but that's my, you know, my thing. I'm meant to be a light here, and for the time that I'm on this planet, I'm put here to be a light. And so that's all I'm gonna be.
Growing up, I know you said you couldn't listen to secular music, like your pops didn't really want you to go trick-or-treating and shit like that. Was there something that as a kid you always wanted to do that you didn't get a chance to? Like, was there something that you were like, I want to do this?
Definitely, there's a lot of things I wanted to do. You know, you wanted to go trick-or-treating, you wanted to watch certain things on TV, play certain video games. But my dad, at a certain time, he just kept us away from things that he felt like were just like too of the world, like, you feel me? And I thank him for that, because I learned a lot of values in the time that I grew up because of that, you know what I'm saying? And when I did get into the world, I was able to look at the world from a more woke up standpoint. You know, and anybody who's you know, a preacher's child or grew up in the church understands like what it means to be a little bit more aware than the world around you. That's just the average working world around you, you know?
For sure, but was there something like that you, right when you were able to, you were like, you know what, now that I'm good, now that I'm on my own, I'm going trick-or-treating at like age 25, or was there something
Nah. I definitely snuck out the house a couple times and made sure I got candy and shit like that, like, you know what I'm saying?
Word.
So, yeah.
Get yours at the 84-cent store.
Wow, it's a serious quote right there.
What does that mean? There's a bunch of people in here who have no idea what that means, I'm sure. What is that?
Get yours at the 84-cent store. That was my first job that I ever worked at when I moved to Canada. And pretty much it was like this Asian dude who employed me at this spot that was called the 84-cent store. And literally they sold everything for 84 cents. So it was like it was lower than 99 cents, you know what I'm saying?
It's a bargain store.
Yeah, I used to have to go out there in the wintertime on a megaphone.
This is in Canada, by the way?
This is in Canada.
So winter in Canada.
Yeah, you know, I used to have to go on a megaphone and stand in front of the 84-cent store. And while people got out to go to Sears, I used to have to be on the thing like, yo, get yours at the 84-cent store. And it was whack, you know, they paid me $5 an hour.
It seems like you almost lived a different life before you came to what you do now, right? I in my research read or heard that you worked at Wendy's, McDonald's, Walmart, Subway, 84-cent store.
Telemarketer, I worked with the yellow pages, dropping them to your house. I worked as so many things, like you know what I'm saying?
Telemarketing? That one I didn't know.
Telemarketing, you know those little jobs that you get in those little buildings. I remember I walked into a telemarketing spot and I remember I was on the phone. I remember just like being in, I was starting to drink coffee and all kind of stuff like I just didn't do. And like I remember being on the phone one time and I just looked around me and I just seen like, there was mad old people in there and like, I just seen like a bunch of like, not to disrespect anybody who's telemarketing, but I seen a bunch of lowlifes in there. I remember just looking around and I was, at one point I just dropped the phone and just ran out of that shit. Knocked the fuck out of here.
And that was the last time you...
That was the last time I ever even took up a job like telemarketing. The last job I ever had was Denny's.
That one I know, you fell asleep on the job.
Yeah, I fell asleep on the job, you know what I'm saying? My manager's name was Steve. Steve came out and was like, yo, you're fired, yo. But he been wanting to fire me for bad long.
He was just waiting for something to get you for.
Just waiting for that thing, like, you know what I'm saying? So Steve fired me and I walked out of Denny's. And I remember I was supposed to be in school that day and I just went to work. I walked out of Denny's and I was like, yeah, I promise it's the last time I'm ever gonna work for anybody ever again in my life. And I said, the only way I'm gonna get it is off of this music. At that point, I slept on the floor for like a solid year. I was broke, but I was making music every single day. Eventually, when I had a good solid 14 songs, that was a mixtape. Put it on a CD, get it to the guy in Scarborough, take those CDs and sell them. And that was my hustle.
Word.
I sold my music.
Right. That became the new job.
That became my new job. It's like now, even if when I don't want to do this, I'm not just doing this for a check. And I'm making $5 an hour. I'm making $5 a CD. So, fuck you to the dude at the 84-cent store with your $5 an hour, making $5 a CD, and I'm selling my shit. Mm-hmm. And nobody can promote my shit like I can promote my shit.
Facts.
Like, I was selling my shit, like, you feel me? Like, so, there, you know, eventually should start taking me. They should start taking me down to like Miami and other places. That's why I start selling my CDs on Ocean Ave. And, you know what I'm saying? And my shit start flying. And still to this day, there's random people who will come to my show and be like, yo, I still got that album. Yeah,
I bought one of those.
I still have the Playing for Keeps album. Winnie Harlow, she got one of my old
I read that, you sold
her
one, right?
Yeah, she got one. I think I gave it to her.
Okay.
I think I sang to her and I gave it to her. And she was just like, I'm gonna keep this forever.
Now,
she was like some little girl when I met her. Like, she was like mad small. Like, you know what I'm saying? I sang to her and everything. I was like, I promise, I'm next. I can sing right, it was Caravan of Weekend. I can sing right now. She was like, all right, sing. her little front, sing. All right, sing it to him. Like, oh, took the CD. It's funny because the other day we was talking about it like, yo, she's like, I still have this CD.
She kept it.
You know what I'm saying?
That's real.
It's real. It's, people were really there, really saw me do that, you know?
When you think back to some of those jobs though, Were there any moments where it wasn't that bad? Did you have a favorite one of them? Like, was McDonald's better than Wendy's, or was, Walmart better than Subway?
See, here's the thing, right? There was this time they had this program. They had this program in Canada, in Brampton, actually one summer, and they got this job where they gave you like a job, pretty much, but it was like it was some way that they had it where it was like an automatic pay. So for the summer, you were supposed to make like a good $4,000. Like that was like a serious thing like at that time to us. Like $20 was serious. You know what I'm saying? But like $4,000 like was like, the payment. But they give you a job pretty much for over the summer, and then over this week thing, like, so I got a Walmart job and I got a Subway job. I was at Subway, it was the most boring job I ever been at in my entire life. They moved me from Subway to Walmart. After like the third week, I'm out of here. I'm not doing this. This is a dub. Standing in the aisles, it's way harder than you think it is, and it's way more boring. So I'm sitting there and I'm in the hallways, I'm doing my job, whatever the case is. And I remember I walked out of there, a week later I still got my pay. Then the next week I still got my pay.
Oh shit.
Then it just kept coming until all my niggas, I'm like, yo, everybody quit your job, the pay still comes. We all quit our jobs, the pay was coming. That summer, that was like probably the best, you know what I'm saying? So shout out to Walmart for like the unemployed hours that I really wasn't there. And shout out to the fact that I got paid.
Word. Damn, you were still getting a check even though you wasn't working.
Exactly.
That's hard.
So it worked out.
I heard the story of you on the airplane where you almost died, and that was like kind of like an awakening moment for you. Even your last album was kind of like a, did I do everything that I was supposed to do before I got out of here type moment for yourself. What did that do for you as a person? Like, did that make you change anything specifically about the way you acted?
Yeah, that was why I created Love Me Now. When I was in the plane, for those who don't know, I was in the plane and pretty much the plane was like, we flew into a storm, the autopilot gave out. We went from 30,000 to 12,000 feet in about a minute and 45 seconds. My dog is in the plane, dog flying everywhere, you know what I'm saying?
I'm starting to laugh.
Just mad spaghetti, ragu sauce flying, Hennessy bottle hit me in the head because the plane is going to a place where it's like, yo, we're gonna die. Like this is, like we're.
Why are you laughing?
Because it's a nervous laugh. It's like
okay.
It's feeling like that. So now I'm in the plane and I just remember all of us just screaming. And I remember like everybody was just screaming. I remember we got to 12,000 feet and the plane caught now. And now, it starts smoothing it out again, but it's still a little rough. And it starts smoothing it out again. We're a little lower, closer to the ground now. So now I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, this is the time when I'm thinking about everything else. I wasn't in the moment of it going down. I wasn't thinking about, did I do what I was just praying. Like I was literally holding myself like this and I was just praying. And so like, when I got down there, and we finally got to cruising altitude, I started thinking like, yo, like if we would have not caught this 12,000 feet, you know what I'm saying? If we would have not caught the autopilot here, like, was I able to give, did I at least give the music that I have hidden, that never even showed people, that I recorded at my house? Did I give that music into the right hands for them to even display it? Did I even work with anybody? Or was I I think what my issue was, I was caught up in a time when I just cared about being the best so much and cared about like people respecting me as the best so much that I stopped caring about the art of making collaborative music with people. And that's why I made Love Me Now and it has so many features on it.
Right, because your stuff before,
I never had no features. My first album, Grammy nominated, no features. Never had no features ever. That wasn't like, you know what I'm saying? That really what I would do other people's features, but they not on my project, you feel me? So now, boom, I start doing mad collaborative work, working with people like Gunna, Lil Baby, and Chris, and all the people who, Trippie Redd, and all these people who I've never worked with before. And it brought a side out of me that I felt like was good for me as a person. It made me realize like, I don't even really be caring about being the best no more. the end of the day, it's like the work should speak for itself. I should never have to tell you that I'm the best. You should just feel like that. And if you feel like that, you feel like that. And if you don't, all right. You know what I'm saying?
One thing that we've learned about Tory Lanez is that like he's not really ever scared to back down from a challenge. We've seen you go up against many people. But one that I was interested in that didn't happen was Cole and Pusha, and you tweeted something like, I don't want to hear nothing about Cole and Pusha because I said what's up and they wasn't ready. Why do you think they wasn't ready? What?
I don't know. I mean, for me personally, I think that what was misconstrued about what I was saying at the time is like people thought that I was coming for them.
Right.
As if I didn't admire what they did.
Because you said that in there. You were like, yo, they're some of my favorite rappers.
Yeah,
I'm
you know
just
what I'm
like,
saying?
if anybody
but
wanted
what I was really just saying was just like, I just want the opportunity to be able to run neck and neck. We can hop on the same songs. It doesn't gotta be a diss thing. The reason why me and Joyner got into it and those other people that we got into it with was just because they came at it as a competition. We all could have went on the same song and did what we did.
Sure.
So it was brought as a competition. My thing was just like, I love competition because I grew up in a household of 6 kids. Like 6 of us, 4 boys and 2 girls. All of the boys competed and I was the youngest, so there was always a yearning in me as a person to want to compete with people that were better than me. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
it's like an athlete. You always want to put your skill up against the best. You want to play the best competition.
Exactly. And when you're the little one and you're the youngest, a lot of the times, when you actually do take that time and you're like, yo, I'm gonna be the best, and you focus your mind on being the best and you start playing the game when no one's watching, and you wake up early in the morning to get better, and you become really nice. You know what I'm saying? And that is what puts that young spirited hunger for competition when that happens. You know what I'm saying? And I think, you know, even at that time in my life, when a lot of that stuff was going on though, what people don't really realize, and like, I was really just upset about a lot of other shit that was going on in my personal life, and it was causing it to react in my artist career. I just felt like, you know what I'm saying, like wasn't being appreciated as the artist because I was going through my own thing in my own personal life. I was very angry. The way I went about things was just very like, fuck you, nigga. Because I can get like that, you know what I'm saying? And feel no way about it, and literally feel no way about it. But the world doesn't take it that way.
Right. Talk about just the art of like enjoying sparring with people, like not beefing or dissing, but like, why do you always want to like go up against the best? Like, why do you want to rap alongside the best? Like, why do you always want to flex the skills that you have?
I just think that I'm a person that, in life, bro, I just deserve an opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Like I've always realized that opportunities are given to people who ask for them. And regardless, some people in life, you know, some things just happen to happen. But if you're not one of those people, which I'm not one of those people, things don't just happen to me. It's like I gotta work hard before it actually happens. So
I feel that.
When you're one of those people, you gotta sometimes damn near barge your way into the conversation. You feel me? Because what people don't understand on a psychological level, and just the way I thought about it and the way I mapped it out, is before any of that stuff, nobody looked at me and said, yo, that kid can rap, because niggas forgot, or they just didn't know that side because they were introduced to Love and Say It. And if you weren't my core fan base, you don't know that I was really rapping before any of those records.
Yeah. You come from, like you said though, but before all of the Love and the Say It's, you really were rapping. Yeah. And I was watching something and tell me if this line means anything to you. Got gats longer than the back of Shaq's spinal cord.
Yeah, that was like, I think that was one of my, that was like one of the early freestyles I was rapping against this dude named Tech Rhymes. Shout out to Tech Rhymes. You know, he sings now. It's funny because I remember in that battle, it was this line, like in Toronto, like Canada just in general, like when people say, yo, you try to sing, that means like you tried it, but it just didn't work, right? I remember there was this line in the battle, it was like, yo, this man, because this is when I was just starting to sing, he was like, yo, this man tried to sing, like real talk, you try to sing, right? And everyone was going crazy. It was just funny, but it's funny because the other day I was looking at his stuff and he's a singer now.
Oh shit, look.
So I commented on this shit, I was like, yo, you try to sing, yo, you try to sing. I was just like, nah, I was just joking with you. You know, but that was one of my earlier battles.
Let me press you on things that you said were coming and we've never seen them.
For sure.
The Spanish album. What's up?
I
You've been said.
Let me tell you what y'all did.
Oh, what did we?
Not you.
Oh, I'm about to say, what did I do?
Not you, but
Okay.
like the fans.
The
Like
masses.
the fans did. The masses did. Alago was supposed to come out before Love Me Now, actually. And when I was doing it, the only thing that stopped Alago from coming out at that time was that I wanted to get 2 specific features on it.
Who were they? Maluma, was it?
It was Maluma, and I was trying to get Balvin at the time.
Okay.
I started posting pictures, and I can't even, like, if you go to my comments, I don't even have that many pictures up, bro. I got like 6 pictures, 7 pictures on my page. I don't even be on my page like that. Bro, it's like a post, it's like 11,000 comments of just where's the Chixtape? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like where's the Chixtape has really become like an actual, like, if I post a picture with a McDonald's bag, is the Chixtape in that bag? Like, it's like, yo, it's really like a thing. Like, you feel me? So I can't, I was like, you know what? All focus goes to this now. Because y'all really want this. Like, y'all won't let me, like, if I was putting out regular music, yo, we love this. This is fire. We gonna get it to 50 fucking million streams, but
nah,
but we still need this Chixtape. Like, and it's still that urgent.
The Chixtape. Everybody wants Chixtape 5. When is it coming?
All I can say, you heard, is that, you know what I'm saying? It might come before Christmas, but it might also come later than the summer.
Later than the summer?
That's all I'm gonna give it, bro.
Later? I don't even know what that means.
Exactly.
Later than the summer?
That's it, you know what I'm saying? It might come later than the summer, it might come before Christmas.
I don't even know what that phrase means. It might come later.
Put it together and think about it.
It might come later
Move
than the
this up
summer.
here, dog. It's gonna start making sense.
It might come later than, well, the summer is about to end now. Does that have anything to do with?
Hold on, brother. I gave you the answer you wanted. I said, yo, it might come before Christmas. It might come later than the summer.
All right, listen, it's not just me, it's the fans, so I hope they're happy with that answer.
Don't worry, it's all gonna make sense soon.
All right, so, okay, so that's might come later than the summer, whatever that means. What about the Spanish album? Is there any update on that, or is that just like a TBD?
It's gonna have to come after Chixtape regardless, so, because that's what's more important.
Okay. What about the collab tape with Chris Brown?
Me and Chris actually was on the road talking about that yesterday. I think we're gonna do something while we're on the road. Like, while we're on this tour. I wouldn't be far-fetched if something comes out that's like a collaborative piece before the tour
is over. Okay. What about the collab with Meek? Is that still a thing?
Yeah, me and Meek just gotta lock in. He just be busy, I be busy. It's like, you know, he's on tour, then I'm on tour. When he's not on tour, I'm on tour. When I'm on tour, he's not on tour.
Right. He's on tour now, and you're on tour now.
We don't want to do it in a way that's just I'm sending you songs and da-da-da-da. Like, he's somebody that really locks in. I watch this dude sit there and lock in for hours in the studio. He'll sit there the whole night and just sit there and rap. I've seen him watch this dude do this. So for me, it's like I want to make sure that I'm also there so the songs can be the way they are instead of it just being sent. I feel like he feels the same way as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
And lastly, you said you got some stupid shit coming with Juice WRLD.
Yeah, well, actually, it was because we're not even gonna talk about that, but pretty much like me and Juice WRLD was supposed to do some wild shit, but we just never got a chance to. But it was scheduled to.
Well, let's say y'all didn't do it yet, it didn't happen, whatever. What was it?
Music.
Okay, but was it a project? Was it a tape?
Nah, it was just some songs. That was it. We were just gonna lock in and just go crazy. Like, the thing about it is like, when it's only a few people that I've been in the studio with and I've like seen them and been like, this dude works like how I work. Because I'm song after song and I'm quick.
You have a Billboard hit with Tekashi 6ix9ine. He's set to testify on Tuesday. People think he's gonna get out. When and if he gets out, would you do music with him again?
I mean, I really don't know. I mean, I don't know how he's gonna feel when he gets out of jail. I don't know what he's got going on in his life. Personally, you know, with all and whatever it is, like, music is music, bro, at the end of the day. However it happens for him. As a person, bro, and regardless of whatever he did, I kind of miss that guy, dog. That was my nigga. He's a funny guy, dog. He really, as a person, he was a funny guy.
On Instagram, he was.
And maybe niggas is, you know, won't say that or won't say whatever they say. I really just don't care. I don't really give a fuck about how people view me and how, like, niggas don't like me already. I don't care, like, you feel me? So, I don't know. I mean, if God forbid, I kill somebody tomorrow and I go to jail and y'all look at me as a murderer for the rest of my life, that doesn't change the songs that I made.
Right.
It doesn't change the way I had you rocking. It doesn't change.
The way I made you feel when
It's
you
amazing. You felt this way about me. If I did something that deteriorated the way that you felt about me, that's that. But at the end of the day, it still doesn't change my craft.
Does the fact that he testified change the way you feel about him at all?
I mean, as a person, I just feel like, there's certain rules that you chose to live by, regardless, there's certain rules to what you're doing. At the end of the day, as a man, you know what you're getting yourself into, regardless, and at the end of the day, I'm not gonna sit here and act like I don't know. Like, nigga, would I do that? No, because I wouldn't have gotten myself into that situation if I didn't know what I was getting myself into. That's all. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But that's you and your life. Like I said, like your life, not my life, bro. My life is a totally different thing. It's a very exciting, extravagant thing that I like to bask in. I don't know what your life is like. I don't get that deep in with niggas. You know what I'm saying? I do my own stuff and I get out of it, bro.
Right. But
You know
for the fans who enjoyed that collab, there's maybe hope that more music could potentially come.
You never know, dog. I never ever look at anything like that. I never ever say, yo, because this nigga did X, Y, Z, I'm never gonna work with this nigga again, or because this nigga did da-da-da-da, because God forbid I'm ever in one of those situations or something like, not like that, but God forbid I'm ever in a situation, I don't want the world to just turn their back on me and be like, I'm never gonna make music with this nigga because of the situation that I'm in at that moment. I'm not saying that excuses what he did or whatever it is, but do as you want to be done onto others. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm sure that regardless of whatever he did or whatever he do, he's probably going through a tough time as well right now. Niggas still got family, still got things you gotta tend to, so it's what it is, bro.
I remember hearing a story that you ran into 2 Chainz, this is before you made it, in front of a True Religion store, which is ironic, of all things, but you told him that you were gonna make music with him, and then you wound up making music with him.
Yeah.
I wonder, was there anything else specifically that before you made it, you said, I am going to do this, and then you went and did it?
Honestly, what happens to me a lot of times is I'll write something that just goes, right? I'll write something that works with a rhyme or something like that, and then I see the line come to life. It's like I'll speak a lot of things into fruition.
Like a line that you wrote?
Yeah, like I'll say like, yo, at the top floor, and there's a Bentley or something. And I'll say it like 3 months ago, and then like 3 months later, I really have like a Bentley.
And you live on the top floor.
Somewhere on the top floor.
Right.
I'm really reflecting this. It's like certain things I realize the words that we speak around ourselves are the energy that creates the physical things that happen to us. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's why people say we underestimate the power of the mind, and why there's people in the world that, they could have cancer, or not cancer, or let's say they have a certain disease, and they can go to a certain doctor in the mountains and he can give them a sugar pill and say, yo, you're cured. And they can
really believe that.
Actually really believe that and become cured. And I think the power of the mind is stronger than we think it is. And so the words that I say and repeat around myself are what creates the energy in my universe. You know what I'm saying? Like, so if I continue to speak positive things around myself, those positive things will eventually come into full fruition. So it's like, it's people that wake up every day and are like, fuck my life, dude. Like, man, fuck this shit, bro. Like, nah, man, it's got this great cloud over me. They're putting all this negative energy, some negative shit keeps happening to them. You feel me? But the words that you speak is literally the energy around you, dog. Like the government got a machine where it's like if we was in this room right now, they could come and walk inside the room and hear whether or not we had, and by like the energy in the room, they could hear whether or not we had a heated conversation, a happy conversation that was calm, by the energy in the room.
This is a real thing?
This is a real thing. So you have to think about that. Like for me and you to have a heated conversation, yo, my nigga, fuck you, da 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 da. And them to come in here and go, yo, their conversation was heated. That means that we left energy in that room, dog. Right. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Meaning that the energy and the things that we say are what creates that thing around us.
You need to just keep saying, yo, I'm a trillionaire, because then you're gonna be a trillionaire.
Real talk, bro. I ain't gonna lie, there was a time in my life where I used to be like, today I'm gonna write the biggest record of the world. Or today I'm gonna write the biggest record in the world, ever. And every day I would say it, the better my records would get, the bigger they would feel. And you know, eventually you stop saying certain things because you know, you just, in life, you just go about your day. Sometimes you forget to say certain things, or you forget to have certain things in your schedule when you say them around yourself. And some of the records weren't that same feeling, you feel me? And that goes to show it's all about the energy you put around you and the words that you say.
Right now you are on tour with Chris Brown. Before that you were on tour with Drake. Who's funner to be on tour with?
Yo, I don't know, because they both have their things about them. You know, Chris is a very lovable guy, dog, you know what I'm saying? Like, type of person that he is, he's very funny. He's a funny dude, like really funny, like, you know what I'm saying? Like he really just pulls some wild jokes out of nowhere and just be talking to you, but he's very down to earth, you feel me? Same thing with Drake. I think the thing is with Drake, one thing I always respect about going around them is everything they do it in a very mafioso way. They just do things like in a way that you should do things.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I feel that.
And it's fire. And same thing with Chris's crew. The thing is with me and Chris though is like we more ratchet niggas. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Up,
like,
have a good time.
you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just certain things we not gonna give a fuck about because we not thinking about it. We just fuck it, nigga. We're like niggas just like fuck it, you know? So they both have their own thing. Like, I think when it comes to just like young, reckless, just fun, like that's more like what me and Chris would probably be on. And when it comes down to like, just like everything just bossed up but still mad fun too, it's them too. It's like, you know?
There was a story I heard in 2016 about you were packing up your tour van. You drive back to the telly.
My God.
You pop the trunk, and then there was a girl.
There was a girl
in the trunk.
Bro, laid up by the luggage like this.
Just trying to get her chance.
We stayed in a little van, in a 12-passenger van. When my dog go to get something from his bag in the trunk, all I hear is, boom, chunk over. Get the fuck out of here. That's all I had, like, get the fuck. Like, he wasn't talking to the girl, he just like, get the fuck. Like, there's no way there's a human person in here. Like, nah, like, nobody caught this. Like, nobody, you know what I'm saying? But that was earlier years before we had security and stuff, so, you know.
That was 2016, I was gonna ask. You've only
that wasn't
gotten,
2016.
Well, you told that story, and I'm sure it happened before.
Yeah.
I heard the story in 2016. You've gotten exponentially bigger since then. What's the craziest groupie situation that's happened since that last one?
It just be girls just telling like a lot of lies. Like, that's really my only issue. It's just like, I'll just wake up one morning and I'll just see a random story about me. It's like, it's not, like I never even seen you, I never even met you.
But have any women gone all out for Tory Lanez the way that that woman did in that car?
Yes, and beyond.
But like what though? Like what have they done?
Some things is just better off unsaid. Some things is just better off unsaid. Because that was a story that happened in 2013. Like, the level of what's been going on and what happens in 2019, this is like a 6-year, like, plummet into the future of like wild shit going on. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not just a regular degular, yo, let's just talk about this on Complex Moves. Like, it's just not one of those, but off the camera we can have those conversations.
Okay, I am interested because I'm curious to know.
Wild shit.
See, don't talk it up and then say, I can't tell you.
Wild shit, man.
But good times.
Buffalo Wild Wings.
You've continually said that you're gonna be the biggest artist in the world.
Yeah.
I wonder how close you feel you are to that, or on your journey to that.
I feel like at this point, I'm here to get like a million plaques. Like, whether or not I gotta write the records, like, or not, I'm here to get 100 number ones, like 1,000 number ones, as much number ones as I can get for myself and as much as I can write for other people. And if I can get to a place that, even as an artist, where I feel like anything that I do is looked at on a certain scale and appreciated on a certain scale, that's when I'll feel like that. Do I feel like I'm close to being the biggest artist in the world? No. But I think that's what's kept me here. And that's what's always kept me on my toes, because I look at it like I just got here. Exactly like how I'm sitting here. This is the first time I'm sitting here. This is the first time I'm here. Just like as I just got signed yesterday. So I'm gonna be on time, we're gonna be here, and we're gonna do what we do. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you were 20 minutes late.
You know what I'm saying? But you know
what I'm saying? All right, man, my last question for you. I feel like you had a lot of things stacked against you. You've come from tough times. People have tried to front on you, be it teachers when you were a kid or store clerks when you're trying to go buy some shit. Does it feel good to you to be able to prove people wrong?
I think that's been my whole thing is just always been like proving people wrong. That's why my first album was called I Told You. Love Me Now. There's certain things that I think I've always looked at like I have to always make sure that no matter what it is that I do it to a place of I'm proving it to me and I'm also proving it to you. You get what I'm saying? Vice versa, I'm proving it to you, but I'm also proving it to me. You get what I'm saying? So it's not like I'm just doing it to prove it to somebody else. I'm also trying to prove it to myself. A lot of times I think people miss the fact that the reason why I talk myself up so much is because truly, I don't always feel that way, but it's the energy that I gotta remind myself to put myself around. And sometimes people take that as I'm being cocky or I'm being full of myself, but I'm not. I'm a nigga like you. I'm a nigga just like them, who at the end of the day doesn't always feel on the top of his game. But I remind myself and I just keep going. You know what I'm saying?
It feels good, proving people wrong.
It feels great.
Word. All right, Tory Lanez, Chixtape 5 is coming later, what was it? Later, what'd you say?
Later this summer.
Later this summer?
Maybe later than summer.
Well, summer ends, what is it, September 21st?
That's for you to figure out. Like,
What is the last day of summer,
right
September
now.
21st?
Like, I don't understand.
So later than this summer.
You know what I'm saying?
Late
later
September.
than summer, maybe before Christmas, you know what I'm saying?
Later, we'll go with the later than the summer. So after September 21st, we're in the clear for the album?
Listen, man, I don't know what you're talking about, man. I'm a part-time head turning full-time jaw dropper, man. You know what I'm saying? I keep shit cooler than Teddy Pendergrass in a snowstorm, sipping a milkshake with a store warm, dorming with the AU, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what to...
I don't know what you just
Complex
said,
is over.
Appreciate
He's
you,
still
bro.
trying to get this information out of me. It's a dub. Much love to y'all. I'm out of this motherfucker. I gotta go to sleep.